Hey everybody, this is David, and welcome to 5 Awesome Transformer Guys, and I'm your Tuesday. Okay, so, I was trying to record this once already, and halfway through got a really bad case of dry mouth. I only have 11 minutes, so let's get a crack on. The subject for this week's 5 Awesome Transformer Guys is collecting. And what makes a collector? This all stemmed from a thread by SMO, I don't know how to pronounce it, 1 on the Moonbase 2 forum. You can follow the link at the bottom to go to the thread, and if you wish to contribute, by all means, please feel free to. That is what you call a subtle, shameless plug. Anyway, collecting. What makes a collector? The thread started off, and I apologise, this is going to do a fair amount of backtracking to what my other 5 Awesome Transformer Guys predecessors have already said this week. What makes a collector? The thread started with, I own a Generation 1 toy, I'm now a collector. And in some ways, yes you are, and no you're not. Yes, you are now a collector, but you're a collector of Generation 1 toys. If that collection goes anywhere. Otherwise, you have a transfer. Some people collect stamps. I have stamps in my house. I do not collect stamps. Some people collect knives and forks, cutlery. I own several knives and forks. That doesn't make me a collector of knives and forks. There is a difference between there is something in the mentality of collecting which makes you a collector. To own one Generation 1 toy does not make you, in my eyes, a collector of Generation 1. You have a Generation 1 toy. In the same way that I own several Resident Evil toys, as you saw on my 100 random things I own. Or was it 50? Yeah, it was 50 because I would have been driven mad by 100. I own several Resident Evil toys. I own all of the Resident Evil games, and I also own all of the Resident Evil books by S.D. Perry. Am I a Resident Evil collector? No. No, I don't have the drive, the mentality to pursue that. Even when I was actually buying them, there was not a deliberate passion to go out of my way. I just got lucky and ended up stumbling across some of them. So I don't consider myself a collector of things like that. I own mint on card Constructicons and several mint on card Constructicons. Sorry, did I? Yes, mint on card Stunticons, and I've got several mint on card Constructicons, and I have a mint in box Motormaster. Am I a collector of mint in box? No. I'm not. Even though I own them, it doesn't make me a collector. Because that is not what my primary passion is. These are just things that I have randomly come across. But am I a collector of Transformers? Yes. There is a larger umbrella to look at. And underneath that, there are all of us running around with our own little umbrellas, and we all have our own little different quirks and likes and dislikes and things like that. So to say to somebody, am I a collector because I own a Generation 1 toy? No. You were a collector long before that, even if you don't admit it. Or you don't think it makes you, like, owning a Generation 1 toy doesn't make you special. Because where does it end? Does owning Grandus make you the greatest Generation 1 Transformers collector? Or maybe it's owning the G2 Protectobots. Or, you know, or something like that. Does that make you a collector? Does that make you any better of a collector than I am? No. If I own 5 Generation 1 Transformers and you own 1, am I a better Generation 1 collector than you? Well, I've gone out of my way to buy 4 more than you have. I'm beating your ass by a whopping 400%. Does that make me better? No. Because you might own Black Zarak or Grandus, and I may own the 5 Protectobots. The Generation 1 Protectobots. You know, I may have Defensor, you may have Grandus. It's not about how much money you spend, it's not about who you're after or what you buy. If you buy it and you enjoy it and you take care of it and you display it and you appreciated it, then you're a collector. If you bought it on a whim or just because you thought something was cool, you're not a collector. At least in my eyes. I honestly, let me give you a recent example. A real example here. And I better hurry up because I've only got 4 minutes. My cohort on the Moonbase 2 podcast, a shameless plug, is Andy Cobra Commander TFW, and he is a big fan of Kamen Rider. And he has recently spread his infectious disease amongst a lot of our friends online, one being specifically Hot Rod Generation 1. Hot Rod Generation 1, that we shall call Phil, has gone ahead and purchased several items of Kamen Rider memorabilia to a specific value of over £100. Does that make him a Kamen Rider collector? In my eyes, no, it doesn't. It makes him a fan of a gun or a toy or something like that. Just because it comes from Kamen Rider doesn't mean he's a Kamen Rider collector. But if he's going to sit around and mess around with it, you know, and there's a potential for it to get broken, and he eventually sticks it in a drawer because, yeah, there's only so many times you can go, Henshin, and all of that stuff. Can't believe I knew that. Oh god, it's rubbing off on me. You know, that's not a collector in my eyes. Even though he's having fun with it. But if he keeps it in its box and he doesn't open it, then he is perhaps a mint-in-box Kamen Rider collector. I don't know. I'd be interested to know whether or not even Phil considers himself a Kamen Rider collector. It's a difficult one, people. It very, very much is. I think it is entirely all dependent on what you think. There is not one right answer. There is not one wrong answer. There is nobody who can define what your collection is. The only thing that somebody can do to a fair amount of accuracy is to put a financial value on your collection. And whether or not that collection is £500 or £5,000 or 50 pence, if you love that and you have a great passion for it and you have a great passion for wanting more of it, then in my eyes you are a collector. But if you buy something on a whim and say, hey, I'm a collector now, no, I don't think so. And this isn't to degrade anybody, you know, especially SMOS 1 who says, hey, I own a G1 toy, now I'm a collector. Time will tell on that one as to whether or not you're a collector of Generation 1. But time will not tell on whether or not you're a Transformers collector, because you already are. And that's the thing. Nobody is any better a collector than anybody else. So if anybody says to you, you're not a real collector because you don't own Generation 1, tell them to stick it. Because your collection is just as important as theirs, regardless of whether or not it's Armada, Cybertron, Energon, cutlery, stamps, sex toys. It doesn't make a difference. If you enjoy it and you have a passion for it, then you're a collector. Until next time, everybody, this is Kal-El Prime. Please be sure to go ahead and subscribe to my other 4 cohorts, and Team Decepticon will be back tomorrow to start this all over again while I have a week to refresh my batteries. So yeah, take care, and I'll catch you all later. Bye.